Kentucky is able to take down Gonzaga in an overtime thriller. One of the most fun games I think I've ever watched in an environment in my entire life. We'll get into that. We'll get into what went into Carson in my evening because it was awesome. But the Cats take down Gonzaga 90-89. We're going to break it down on today's episode of the Wildcats Today Podcast. I'm your host, Andrew Stefaniak, writer and editor over at Kentucky Wildcats on SI, joined by, they call him Florida Carson, much like Florida Stanley from The Office. He's just in a better mood for a Monday morning. Carson, you seem fired up.
Yeah, I'm running off about 5 total hours of sleep this weekend, and it is 8 a.m. Monday morning, so normally I would be in an awful mood, but I'm in Orlando. There's palm trees. The sun is shining. I will be by the poolside this afternoon, so not too much I can complain about, you know?
Yeah, that's a good place to be tired is what I would say. Good place to be tired. So we're going to get into it. We're going to get into the Kerr Kriisa injury. We're going to get into all of this on today's show. But, I mean, looking at this ball game, Carson, if you would have told me that Lamont Butler, in fact, does not play, which, by the way, there were reports that he was going to play earlier in the day. And then he just was like, nah. And I'm like, okay, great. That stinks. So I got a little confident and lost a lot of confidence like that.
Oh, no, I remember showing you the report, and you're like, oh. And then they tweet out like 30 minutes before game time that he's not going to play, and you're like, shit.
Yeah, that was not ideal. Not ideal. But, I mean, you find this team, man, they find a way. In Seattle, obviously pretty close to Spokane, pretty close to it was a pretty packed. Obviously, some blue got in, but it was for the most part a pretty packed Gonzaga crowd. And I mean, you just continue to fight. And what Mark Pope said I think it was after the Duke game. I mean, it was just this team is going to give you 40 minutes of basketball. Don't care if we're down 30, we're up 30, we're tied. We're not ever going to lay down and go away. And that's what you saw in this game. I mean, the resiliency. I mean, Carson, we were at the Burl Brew watching this game, which was awesome environment. Go check
Shout out Burl Brew.
Yeah.
Shout out Burl Brew. That
great time. Great Sprites, homemade Sprites. Really good stuff. But we're not home brewed Sprites, home carbonated Sprites. But you know, it was really cool to see like BBN come together like that, because that crowd, seriously, like that was just a lot of fun. You can just like feel like we saw a lot of people we knew in there, and people are just fired up about this team and about this season. It's just a different feel. We went to do stuff like this for ball games last year, and it just didn't feel like this. There's something in the air in Lexington, Kentucky right now. But I mean, getting into personal performances. Obviously, we're going to talk about Andrew Carr. We're talking about all of the people that showed up in this game. But to me, the guy that needs kudos, I think it's Jackson Robinson, Carson. What he did, Kerr Kriisa going down with an injury, what Jackson Robinson did in that game at point guard was truly special. What did you think about that performance?
Our star player became our star player. How about Jackson Robinson? I mean, he looked unreal. And not to mention, talk about a draft stock boost. Him playing point guard.
At his height, it's huge for him.
I mean, when he came in point guard and to play point guard, and we switched to the 1-3-1, Mark Few looked like he was driving down Spokane roads after a big win. I mean, this is exciting. This is very exciting.
Very exciting.
And I want to piggyback off of something you said, because I think it's all about energy, right?
Yeah.
So Pope lives and dies by energy. And I love it because you can tell Kerr Kriisa freaking hurt his foot. And guess what he does? Runs back on defense.
That was awesome.
Still tries to block the opponent. He freaking fractures his foot and does that. He could have easily went to the sideline or fell down. No, he gets back on defense and tries to defend.
Yeah.
Are you serious? Are you serious? I mean, it's all about energy. 40 minutes of non-quit basketball. I freaking love it.
Yeah, I broke the same bone Kerr Kriisa did when I was like 11, and I went down like a punk arse immediately. So yeah, shout out to Kerr Kriisa for that. And I mean, it was funny because at first we were like, what the hell? When he threw that ball, I was ready to punch somebody. And I was like, oh, okay. Okay, that's fair. Like, I get it. I'm still a little irked, but obviously you're hurt. But I remember when he did that, we were all like, what was that? That was like the most Kerr Kriisa thing I'd ever seen in my life. But I mean, just shout out to the second half defense from this team. I mean, let's just be honest, Garson. I did not feel great at halftime. Did not feel great at all in any way, shape, or form. And you find a way to slow EK. You find a way to weather the storm. That's what I remember. We kept saying that in Brea.
No, yeah, I was gonna bring that up. I was gonna bring that up. You kept looking at me during the first half. You were weather the storm.
Weather the storm. Yeah, calm the crowd. Yeah, that's what. And hey, and they did, and they got going. And I mean, and what I continue to love about this team is, I mean, we beat the number 7 team in college basketball, and we shot 28% from 3. This team wants to shoot the 3 ball. That's their goal. That's what they want to do. They want to shoot it well. They haven't over the last 4 games. I'm pretty sure they've been sub 30% in all of the last 4 ball games, including this one. But they're finding ways to win basketball games. And that's what matters. It doesn't always matter how you do it. They don't draw pictures of wins. It's just a win or a loss. And, you know, finding a way to win when you're not shooting, because there's going to be games where you shoot 49% on 34 attempts, and then you're going to win. You'll beat any team in college basketball by 20. So I love that we beat one of the best teams in college basketball, and do not in any way, shape, or form get confused about this Gonzaga team. It's a damn good basketball team. That's a top 10 team. They're veteran like Kentucky.
I was going to say, you beat a team that's built like you, that's supposed to be better than you at what you do.
Yeah. And you beat them not at their place, but in their state.
5 minutes away.
Yeah. So, I mean, just everything. I'm more proud of this win than the Duke win. I just think there's more adversity. I mean, you're down 9 at half to Duke. There's just more adversity that came with this win. I mean,
single-handedly the biggest comeback technically in the history of Kentucky. We were down 16 at halftime. Well, at halftime, it's the biggest because, of course, everyone remembers the LSU game from a while back too. But at halftime, it was the largest comeback.
Yeah, I mean, that's just. I mean, then you look at who played well. Besides Jackson Robinson, when he came in at point guard, once again, I mean, things changed. When Kerr was down and out, at first I thought it was a cramp. It was a weird-looking injury.
I thought it was a cramp at first, too.
But good thing he's having the surgery on that. I seriously can't speak on this because I literally had the exact same fracture. It's called a Jones fracture, and it's the little, like, side of your foot, and I didn't get surgery on it. And I think I was, like, I'm about to ask my mom, but I was, like, on crutches for like 6 months because it's such a small bone in your foot where I guess not a lot of blood flow gets to it, and it takes long to heal. So getting the surgery, like I should have gotten the surgery on that thing. Like that was Kerr will be back soon, I think. But Jackson Robinson stepping in playing point guard was magical, and I like that the size that gives you. I mean, it makes you a huge team.
Hey, what podcast maybe hinted at that before the game?
We did. Wildcats Today did mention that. Because I mean, once again, it made a lot of sense. I mean,
and defensively, it's an upgrade.
Yeah, yes, and it's funny because Coach Pope was talking about playing Travis Perry more. That's just a big spot to put Travis Perry. You know what I mean? It's a big moment, and obviously Travis came in. He shot a 3. If that would have gone in. Yeah,
he played tough.
If that would have gone in, that 3 he shot, that place would have blown the roof off.
I got a funny story for you before you continue. Did you hear that Kentucky fans were calling into Gonzaga local radio shows requesting my old Kentucky home after the game?
No, but that's great. That's great. I mean, that's just awesome. That's just what makes us fit. That's the stuff you're supposed to do.
Yeah.
We finally, I mean, damn, we lost to them the last 2 times in this little, like, year in, year out rivalry game.
Got blown out last year.
Yeah. And this was a big win to kind of say, hey, yeah, you got to come to our place next year, and you better best believe that we're tying this thing 2-2. So good luck. But Andrew Carr, there's something about these big games. He played bad against Clemson, man. Bad against Clemson. But I mean, in these ranked matchups now, Andrew Carr's been your best player both times. And I do have a feeling that when it comes down to the nitty-gritty of winning a tough basketball game, Andrew, Big Carr in Philly, as Lamont Butler says, is going to be the guy that shows up and just wins you a ball game. I mean, he's just a dog. In crunch time, in the last 10 minutes, he just finds ways to make stuff happen.
I thought I was watching the old school Mavericks, the way Dirk Nowitzki was hitting them post fades at the end of the game. I mean, Andrew Carr was unreal.
Yeah. He just finds a way. Also, side note, I absolutely love the noise that made when the shots went in. That was great. I love when they put a camera there. That makes basketball much more enjoyable than it already is, because I think that's satisfying.
Yeah,
not very important, but I wanted to toss that in there.
Mm-hmm.
How many times did Amari Williams turn the ball over, Carson, and how many times do we turn it over as a team? Do you know? Because it's very exciting, as Borat would say.
I do not know, but I will know here very shortly.
Yeah. I didn't know either.
Oh my goodness.
Mm-hmm.
We only turned the ball over 7 times, and we had 17 assists.
And how many times did Amari Williams turn it over? Nil. And that is exactly what we were begging for after the Clemson game. He had some silly turnovers in that game. And I saw people, in our comments and comments on articles I wrote on social media saying, like, okay, he's got
post up Amari.
And yes, like, hey, let's just go be 7 foot and go just drop it in the hoop. Like, that's what you're supposed to do here. So, and that's what he was doing in this game, and he was taking care of the basketball, and this team did as a whole, and that was very, very exciting to see. Now, Brandon Garrison still turned it over 3 times, which was a little interesting.
I do not care. I do not care.
Oh, no.
Brandon Garrison is going to break out and be one of the best big men in college basketball soon at the University of Kentucky. That kid is elite. Yeah. And people need to be put on notice, because that kid is going to be really, really good.
10-9-1 in 17 minutes. That'll work. That'll play.
9 rebounds in 17 minutes is so freaking good.
Yeah. And you could say the same thing about him we just said about Andrew Carr. I think Brandon Garrison's 2 best games of the season are Duke and Gonzaga. And I mean, like, the role he played in the comeback, and honestly, both of these games. He made another classic Brandon Garrison no yes 3-pointer, except for it was actually a 3-pointer this time. Which, by the way, that other line was irking me as well.
Yeah, well, I know you were the Burrow Brew mixed in with the white line, and that wasn't really sure what was the 3-pointer and what wasn't a 3-pointer.
No, and until like 5 minutes into that game, I kept going, his foot was on the line. It's a 2. And then it finally hit. I'm like,
oh, was there that white line? Do they play NBA games?
They must play NBA games or G League games or something. I don't know what team's up there. I know that building, they talked about it when we played them there 2 years ago. I remember that. Assuming that's the same building we played them in that time. I'm pretty sure it is.
Yeah, but, I'm guessing you're probably right.
They talked about it, and I forget what it was. I think it's a G League or NBA or professional of some kind, something team. So, and, another guy like Otega Owe does not play his best game, but he's still. I love players that when they play bad, it doesn't feel like they play bad. And I wouldn't say he played bad. He was 4 of 11. I mean, it's not like he was 1 of 22 where he wasn't, it wasn't.
Who was the guy who went flying across the floor at the end of the game when Andrew Carr back tipped the ball to make sure that they couldn't recover it or anything?
It was a throwaway. Yeah. Which, by the way, the ending of that game, too, when Carr missed those 2 free throws, I went, here we go. Here we go.
After a big 3 running down the court from Nimhard, like you knew, like we were like, come on.
And then that 3 that they made to make it a 1-point game.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I was
talking about from Nimhard. Hickman. That was just talk about jacking one up. I was like, oh my.
No, it was Nimhard. It wasn't Hickman. Hickman hit the one before, I'm pretty sure.
The one that made it 9-89
was Nimhard, I'm pretty sure.
I think you're wrong, and we're gonna find out right now. Mother trucker. Here we go. Nolan Hickman made 3-pointer, assisted by Ryan Nimhard. Boom. I watched the highlights 7 times yesterday, is why I know that. Maybe 10.
You know what? You want to hear something horrible? You want to know something horrible? So I go to get on my flight yesterday, and I'm just like, oh man, I'm off of 1 hour sleep. I'm feeling horrible. And I get to the airport, and I put my headphones in. I'm getting ready to listen to post game and rewatch the game again. And I'm getting on the plane. Boop, boop. My headphones are dead.
Ooh. Like, what do you even do on an airplane at that point? Because, like, you can't. I guess you could play like games on your phone.
Yeah, but I didn't have any games downloaded, so I was like,
so you just like stared at
sitting there.
You just became that guy that started chatting with the person next to you, just annoying the heck out of them. Like they're just trying to like watch the movie, and you're like, "What do you do for a living?" Oh, really? I'm in sales myself. That's what Carson did. That's what he got into.
Hey, you got to do something.
Yeah, you gotta find a way. But I mean, so who else? We talked about Carr. We talked about the performance from Ortega. I mean, that personifies this basketball team. I mean, laying out for trying to get the ball, secure the ball to end the game for sure in that moment. Like this team will do anything to win a basketball game. Amari Williams, I mean, didn't have a lot of boards, but 5 of 8 from the field, 12 points, didn't turn the ball over. I don't know what more you can ask from him. And I'll tell you this, and tell me if you disagree. I think Kerr Kriisa was solid when he was out there. Wasn't great. I wouldn't say he had an elite game.
Here was the difference in Kerr, I think, than what had been going on. I think Kerr felt way more comfortable because he started and he was like, yep, I need to prove to everyone that, yeah, I've been playing bad, but that's not going to continue. And even though he didn't score as much as we would have liked, his energy, his leadership, Kerr is one of the most important players to this team, and we need him back. So anyone writing Kerr off, stop. He is a leader of this team, and he plays with all the heart in the world. And I am a #1 Kerr Kriisa supporter. So we need Kerr back. And so just because he's been playing bad doesn't mean that he's not doing other good things.
Yeah, no, I'm with you on that. I also don't buy the 3 to 6 weeks, by the way. That's just I
feel like that's short. I feel like
I'm not a doctor once again, clearly, but I don't know if I'm buying 3 to 6 weeks on that. You could talk me into 6 being the early end. Now I'm not saying 5 months, but I'm saying like I don't know. Oh well, there's my alarm. Quack. Why is that on? Oh, I guess it still goes.
Oh, we should talk about our successes over the weekend. In the football category, conference championships.
Oh yeah, we did hit a big old parlay
because the quack made me remember because they helped us out a little bit.
And Clemson, I didn't realize once again we were at Burl Brew, so we were some time was moving quick that night, and I didn't realize because we watched it on your phone. The Clemson, like 50-yard field goal to win that game, I completely forgot that was like a part of it. You know what I mean?
No, that was the end of it.
That's what I mean. That was the ending. And then I saw that again. And now Mike and I had Kentucky money line, so we weren't quite safe when Clemson
I was happy that Clemson made the cake, but at the same time, it was the Kentucky game was going on, so I was like, I'm not too happy yet.
Yeah, you celebrated a substantial parlay win for less than 30 seconds. That's how devoted he is to this basketball team. So just remember that. But so the Kerr Kriisa injury. Once again, not a doctor. I don't know if I'm buying 3 weeks. You could talk me into 6, not buying 3.
I agree.
A lot of people see 3 to 6 and they're like 3. I don't think it's going to be 3. I think it's going to be. I mean, he is getting surgery to repair this.
Yeah, I need 3 weeks to recover after Brawl Brew, so I'm pretty sure a fracture will be a little longer.
Yeah. This, and I'll tell you that fracture that thing still bothers me sometimes. It happened when I was 11 years old. That was also because I fully continue to just play baseball all summer, with a cast on. It was screw it, but I wouldn't recommend doing that. Kerr, let's no more catching fish. Let's sit down and let's chill out. Let's get back dialed. But and then the rest of your bench guys, Ansley Almanor, I think he just comes in and he's 1 of 4, 1 of 3 from deep, 5 points, 2 rebounds. I just like the way he plays the game.
I love Ansley. I was going to say, I love Ansley. I love when he comes in the game.
And there's going to be games where he gives you 8 to 10 and he really helps you off the bench. But I mean, if your bench guys are giving you, bench points, you got to score some bench points. You know what I mean? You got to get a lot from your bench. You get 20 from your bench in this game. And this team is capable of getting much, much more than that from its bench. But still, and you got to account, Kerr Kriisa obviously wasn't a bench player in this game. I don't think we're going to be without Lamont. I about combined his name. I don't know how to do that. We're not. I think Lamont will be back sooner than later. I don't think this is a long-term concern.
You think he plays next Wednesday against Colgate?
I don't really care.
Or this Wednesday, sorry. See, that's how delirious I am.
I don't really care, to be honest with you.
I don't care either. I
care if he plays on the 14th.
No, I don't. In my opinion,
seriously,
I would sit him out.
I would too.
Or play him sparingly just to get some run back. Back to games.
That's where we'll find out about the injury. Is the time that he's going to play against
Colgate.
Is if he plays, period, then if he plays, he's good.
Yeah.
If he plays 10, 15 minutes, you feel fine. If he's ruled out, and if Mark Pope, says in his pregame, and he's like, Lamont's good to go. He'll be good to go for Saturday. Hold him out tonight. Just keeping him, not going to risk anything. I'm all good. But if it's Lamont's not quite there yet, that's when I'll be like, ooh. Because I do not want to
going into that Louisville game with no point guard other than Robinson is going to be tough. Perry's going to – oh, my goodness. Does that not set up the best possible situation ever?
Yeah, because I still think Kentucky could win that, probably would win that game. But
Travis Perry would be the third best player on Louisville. So
that is true. Yeah, but they have Chucky Hepburn. Okay, so let's chill. And he's way better than Lamont, right?
You remember that conversation? I mean, what?
Never forget it. So I mean, any we talked about Carr a lot. We talked about Robinson. We talked about Kerr and Owe and Garrison, Almanor. And anything else from this game that stood out, Carson? Any other people that played well?
I wanted to talk a little bit about Kobe Brea.
Okay, I agree. It's a good conversation.
He was struggled a little bit against Gonzaga. I think against the better teams, he struggles to find open space. Now, he did make a really clutch 3 that helped us out late in the game. But the thing about him, for me, as much as he hasn't been playing great, he had 7 rebounds. So, in my opinion, if you're not going to be making shots and Kobe's okay at defense, he's not the greatest. But if you're not going to do that, you're going to have to be good at something else. So getting 7 freaking rebounds from a guard, that's absolutely monstrous. I mean, that's huge. I mean, it's your guard. He's getting 7 rebounds.
Yeah. You're right about that. Exactly. The boards are huge. Very helpful. I want to rewatch this game again and
I need to go back and
watch Kobe Brea. We need to get to the bottom of why he's not getting open.
Yeah.
Could he be doing more moving without the ball? Are they just truly locking him down? Because once again, I watched the highlights again. I didn't watch the game again yet. I wanted to do that. I got a busy day.
Yeah.
But I want to watch that again because we need to, and that might be something we talk about on Wednesday, Carson, instead of maybe Colgate, because like Kobe Brea is a big part of this team, and he needs to be good. You know what I mean? He needs to be good for this team. So, we need him to be getting open. And I mean, I remember against Clemson because I was watching him like a hawk against Clemson. He just wasn't getting open. He wasn't getting space. And I agree. Somebody commented was like, well, him not getting space means other people are open. True, but I'd rather him be open because he's the best shooter in college basketball.
Yeah, right. It doesn't help. It doesn't help when Amari Williams is wide open from three.
I don't care if Otega Owe has open threes because he's going to shoot 40, 35%, maybe less. You know who's not is Kobe Brea. So if he can get even a sliver of space, he's going to shoot 45, 50%. So, we got to find a way to get him open. And I'm going to do some film work and figure out how to do that.
You want to know my take that I've been kind of watching for a little bit?
What?
I think we're really, really elite at inside scoring. Mm-hmm. Inside scoring. I didn't realize when this team was put together how good that we would be inside scoring wise, because everyone talks about the 3-point shooting. But look at the big games, right?
Yeah.
Duke and Gonzaga, you don't shoot good, but guess what you do? You grind out a win from inside the arc.
Yeah.
If you can do that with your solid defense, I mean, this is a really complete team. There's really not many weaknesses that you can run into.
Well, I mean, you've got an elite scorer around the rim in Amari Williams, Andrew Carr, and the best driver in college basketball, or one of them in Otega Owe. You got three guys that can just with ease score at the rim. Lamont Butler's an incredible finisher around the rim. You're great around the rim. You really are. And I think Amari Williams can be better. Andrew Carr is great around the rim. I threw Amari Williams in the elite category. I'd put him in the good category. I want to step that back a bit. He could be better around the rim. And that it almost kind of irked me watching him in the final moments against Clemson. The last 5 minutes. I'm like,
dunk the ball.
Or not dunk it, but when he started doing the little he was like, oh yeah, I'm 7'1" and jacked. I can just push people around and then take the basketball and drop it in the hoop like that. Drop it in there. Let's do that. More of that.
I always wondered why Amari Williams never played football, but that seems like the reason why.
Yeah, he needs to block for whoever's our quarterback next year.
He'd be a great left tackle.
Yes, he would. That would be yes. If you put like 30 more pounds on him, my goodness. Now, obviously, that they chopped the legs. Don't care. Put him out there.
Pull him around. See how fast he is.
Yeah. Oh my. So I'd like to see Amari be better around the rim, just a little bit. Just and what he's 5'8" in this game. I'm not griping about that. I'm just saying I think that I think that he kind of gets too focused on this. I'm a point guard. I'm a unicorn, and it's like that's fine, but let's be good at what we're good at. And you're be good at being 7 foot tall and built like a brick feces house and dunk the ball. You know what I mean? Like that's what we need to do here. Dunk the ball, drop it in. I like his little spin hook. I love his little push shot. More of that. You know what I mean? More of that stuff. I think when he does that, he sometimes he tries to just finesse too much for me around the rim, Carson. I think if he just dunk it, lay it in, push shot, hook shot, love all that. The
thing about Amari that's tough is he always has to go to his left side. He always is going left. So on tape, it's pretty easy to scout out. So most teams just force him right. But when he does get to that left hand, he's pretty unguardable.
Yeah. Yeah. Agreed. And I mean, he can there's ways to work around not being a great dribbler with your non-dominant hand. And I think he does okay with it at times, but you are right. If they
Well,
force
I'm talking
him,
in post scoring too. Like if you would rather have him on the left side than the right
yeah.
side.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. No question. Because he doesn't really have that turnaround. There's some shots that just aren't in his bag of tricks.
Yeah.
That make him easier to defend.
Mm-hmm.
If you really, watch film hard. So I'm with you. Any other thoughts on it? I mean, I agree with Brea. I definitely have some. Brea's 1 of 6 in this game. Hit a big one though. The one was a big one.
Huge.
I have some Brea concerns that I would love to. And now, the last time that we griped about Brea, I think he went like 7 of 8 from 3. So we're not gonna.
The last time we griped about Brea was in the exhibition games, and then after that, he shot 75% for.
So we'll gripe about Brea on Friday. That's what we'll do. We'll gripe about him on Friday. But I mean, the other thing I want to say too, and we'll I want to talk like the big picture of what this win means before we get out of here. But I just think also finding ways to win games like this is what matters in March. Finding ways to win these big close games. This is a Elite Eight type of game you just played, and you won in overtime. Winning in overtime, winning late game situations. Kentucky is now 2-1, in games where you're kind of in it in the last couple minutes. And against solid basketball teams, and that'll work. You got to find a way to win these tight, close into games. So that excites me. But I mean, the big picture, Carson, I mean, this team is just really, really good. And I want to leave it at that. I mean, they're good.
I mean, I'm a little shocked by where we're at right now, to be honest. I mean, you're telling me that we put this team together in 3 months.
Mm-hmm.
Oh God.
Yeah.
Help college basketball, because Mark Pope is here.
Yeah. And I mean, once again, there's no 5 stars. Obviously, Garrison was a McDonald's All-American, but you have a lot of talent coming in next year that you're going to be able to add with the veterans you get in the portal, guys you hold on to. It's just the future is even brighter than this team is, and this team can win a national championship. So if that's scary to think that is that there's even more upside there than what you
want to know what's going to happen?
What?
We're going to get Caleb Wilson, and you think the top transfers aren't watching?
Yeah.
You think they know what a Mark Pope system can do for their draft stock?
Oh yeah.
So trust me, this could be the golden age of Kentucky basketball.
Yeah.
Mark Pope's doing all the right things.
Yes, there is no question there. All right, Carson, you probably got to go to work. Any other thing to break down before we get out of here? Call it a day.
No, that's all I got. Again, I mean, wow, that felt like an old school Kentucky win. I haven't felt that good. This Duke and Gonzaga, both these wins have I've been on the verge of getting emotional over these. Yeah. I mean, it's been a long time since we felt this good about our basketball team and the state of our program. So it's really, really, really exciting time. And I'm super freaking pumped about the future and right now.
I mean, and like I said, I mean, just the atmosphere at where we were at Burl Brew watching that ball game. I mean, it was just you could feel it. Obviously for the Duke game, I was at a concert with my dad, so I had to and I got to watch the tail end of it. It was awesome. But so I didn't get to, obviously I had to rewatch that game, and I got to watch the inning, which was huge, but it was I didn't get to feel the atmosphere. I got, it was a lot of fun watching this atmosphere.
Well, also it tied in because you're down 16 at half. Everyone's oh, maybe we aren't legit. Maybe we overrated ourselves. And then you keep chipping away, and you make it close. And then everyone's oh my God, it's a 3-point game all of a sudden. And then you go in and you finish the deal. You step on their throat instead of letting them come back and take it back from you. You step on their throat, which was impressive as well. Man.
It was really funny. I was talking about this with Mike. I was okay, we were down 16 and then down 3, and I don't there's a gap in there of like
it's called Burl Brew.
Yeah, those. Yeah, but seriously, I'm like, huh, cool. You know, but I mean, it was just like, and obviously, like you're watching the game, but it like, okay, oh whatever, we're down 13 now. Like you don't like really.
No, I did the same thing because Brea hit that three. Brea hit that three to cut it to 3, and you're like,
yeah,
what is that?
That's what I'm saying. Like, and that was the shot. I remember.
Yeah.
I was kind of like, oh shit, here we go.
Here we go.
Like that's kind of what it was. Because it was like, oh well, we're down 8, whatever. I mean, it's fine. Oh, we're down 6. I mean, I guess we're back in it. Kind of. He goes, ooh, wait a minute. That was kind of the reaction. It was like, hold on, as we went and bought un mas pitchers of Sprite. So big win, ladies and gentlemen. Big win. You got a big week this week. We know what's coming up on Saturday. We'll get into that. Yes, we will. We will get into that. You have to redeem yourselves after what happened on the gridiron because that was.
You got to kick their ass.
So obviously Wednesday we might talk. We'll obviously talk a little Colgate, but we'll talk some other stuff as well. And then y'all know what we're talking about on Friday. So that's what the rest of the week looks like. If you have, we got
to do our State of the Union football at some point this week.
That ain't gonna be able to happen this week. We got too big of a week of basketball.
That's true.
That'll be a.
I don't know. I just want to get on here and ramble and.
I do too. But I don't know when we're. Oh yeah, but heck, next week. Oh, okay. We don't have a midweek.
We have a break. There's a break.
We play Louisville, and then we don't play again until Ohio State the next Saturday. We'll do that next week, midweek on like Wednesday or something. That'll be next week because we'll have more time. So that's the plan. Hit that subscribe button, ladies and gentlemen. We're almost to 2,000. We're getting there. The word around town is that the GOAT himself, Mr. Jeff Nash, is a little worried. 2,000 is coming up. We're gonna have a slip and slide party. So that's just a word. It's the word. That's what I'm hearing. So I mean, hey, keep hitting that button. We're almost 2,000, and we really, really appreciate y'all that have done that. So hope everyone has a great rest of their Monday, and we will see y'all on Wednesday to talk a little bit of toothpaste. Have a good one. See y'all on Wednesday.